One day, there are these two monks, a senior monk and his apprentice, a junior monk, and they're both walking through the countryside when they get to this river. They can't help but notice there's this elderly woman that's trying to cross. The elderly woman approaches both monks and says, "Please, help me get across this river. I need to make it to the other side so I can see my family." Both monks stopped and stared at each other. They didn't know what to do because they had given vows as monks not to touch a woman. Then, without any more hesitation, the senior monk picks up the elderly woman and carries her across the river. They get to the other side. The senior monk puts the woman down. She thanks him and then goes on her way. Both monks continue walking through the countryside, but the junior monk is visibly upset. He can't believe that the senior monk touched that woman. They continue walking down the path. An hour passes by. 2 hours pass by. Finally, 3 hours pass by and the junior monk cannot take it anymore. He turns to the senior monk and says, "How could you touch that woman? You know that as monks is forbidden." The senior monk stops and stares at his apprentice and says, "My brother, I carried that woman across the river for just a moment, but you've been carrying on to her for all these hours. Why are you still holding on to her?" What a beautiful story about holding on to things and not letting go. How many of us hold on to things that lasted for just a moment, literally for weeks or months, sometimes even years passes by before we've really let go. Sometimes it's what somebody did to us, or other times it's what somebody said to us. Sometimes it's even so small, like a rude comment that a complete stranger left to us that consumes our entire day. But the crazy part is that by holding on to this anger, it doesn't hurt the other person. The only person it hurts is ourselves. One of my favorite quotes is from Buddha, and Buddha says, "Holding on to anger is like grasping a hot coal with the intent of throwing it at someone else. You are the only one who gets burned." We can choose to hold on to these things and to drain our energy, or we can choose to unlock our higher energy by consciously letting go. By us letting go, that doesn't mean that we're wrong and the other person's right. It means that we let love win over hate. It means that we're letting ourselves focus on something more productive and more positive that gives us more happiness. Don't forget, our lives aren't made up of all the years that we lived them. They're made up of the moments. Even when you look back on your own life, you don't think about every year increment that happened. You think about certain moments or certain experiences that you felt or remember. This day forward, let's let go of everything that isn't serving our higher purpose, rather than letting it consume us, just like that junior monk who was holding on to that woman for all those hours. The next time that we experience something that steals our happiness in the moment, let's not forget the monk and water story. Let's not let a bad moment turn into a bad life.